Okay. Hey, game. Hey, guys.
Hey,
Hey, I'm not the host. You are.
you are.
Okay.
You said
Hi,
hey
guys.
guys
Welcome.
first.
Fine.
Welcome
I
to
guess
Don't
I'm the
Worry
host.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's the show on Wednesday. That's awesome. We love you guys. Thank you guys for being here and
And have a great night.
have a great night.
That's what you.
Yeah, what's
That's what.
happening?
That's what you get for us being like 20 minutes late.
I know, I know. Oh, you're talking to them.
Yeah.
All right.
That's that's their reward for being patient.
Well, welcome everyone. It's Don't Worry Wednesday. It's a show where we handle any issues, challenges, topics, anything you might be going through. Feel free to post them in the chat. You can feel free to send us an email, dww@bss.studio. You can put them right on our website. Princess has the link there in the chat. I think there's a link. Oh, the apparently the message with the link was deleted by the Google moderator team. That's interesting.
Ah,
Thank you, Google
Thank you,
moderation
Google.
team.
clown,
What in
Christmas
the world is that
clown.
about? No links to your website in the chatting. Wonder if they did that.
This one.
Yeah. Try and that
There,
worked. There you
okay,
go.
let's see. There.
Am
All
I
right.
gonna delete it?
Yeah, probably.
Well, the other it looks like that one made it to the live chat thing on the screen.
Bless you.
So
Thanks.
bless you, right?
Cool. Well,
Oh, God.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can click that link and you can post the topic there. You can put it in the chat. You can send us a Discord message. If you DM me on Discord, I'll probably even see it nowadays because I'm on Discord like every day now.
Nice.
It's crazy. But I used to never be on Discord, man. We'd always put there on the number, hey, you can DM us on Discord. And I'd be like, yep, you can. I might not
You
see it.
can.
I might not see it for about 27 days, but
It's an option.
yes.
It's an option. You can do that. Not that it's effective.
Wait, Princess, did you just type that?
Hmm.
Then I copy pasted it,
Oh,
but
okay.
yes.
Oh, you got me. That's funny.
Check this out. Mine's even better. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Boom. I copy pasted that.
I didn't see any copy paste, nothing. There's nothing there.
And then I copied and pasted that. All right. That's
I
fine.
didn't see
So
anything.
delayed.
Huh.
It's like not coming through to the chat.
If it doesn't come through, that's all
I
right.
just saw
Oh,
you
there it
using
is.
my
There it
name. Well,
All right. Yeah, Saula, I did actually see yours in a timely manner. It was lucky back then. Yeah, but now I'm actually on there every day. Princess is on there every day. I think Ryan's on there like every day.
Yep.
So
Totally.
yeah. So you can get us on Discord. Anyway, we are not professional therapists, counselors, or anything like that, or lawyers, or police officers, or doctors, or well, any
Surgeons.
kind of profession. Architects,
Yeah, that's something that we're not professional of.
IT professionals.
That's correct. We're not IT professionals. Some of us are, but
I'm a-
not you and I.
Right. I'm getting more and more in that realm. Like Jesse taught me how to update the Minecraft server.
Oh, that's good.
So the
That's good.
Minecraft server has been updated. And so that was cool and we were able to get on there again. So that was kind of cool. Are we professional football players? No. Not even semi-pro.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust me against like a high school, even. Like not
Really?
even close.
Wow.
Yeah.
We used to have a semi-pro football team near me in this little town. Like not I don't know, it was probably 40 miles from where I live and it was like the only semi-pro team, around. And it was so crazy. We went to the game because my wife, who was my fiance at the time, she was on like the dance team for it. Like they had a dance team and everything and stuff and whatever.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was basically like cheerleaders with some extra moves, whatever.
Nice. That's cool
But
though.
yeah, but it was so crazy. I went to go watch her, and there was a football game too, and it was like, you know, they didn't have uniforms. They just went out there, looked like in their like they had
Just whatever.
non-matching pants and shirts and everything. It looked like a
That's great.
scrimmage. I was like, I was like, wow, semi-pro, huh? I guess so, man.
Wow.
But hey, it was a fun time.
But you, Dracon wants to see us tackle someone.
That
Okay.
hey, it's been a long time since I tackled someone. I've taken someone down like in Krav Maga, but
Yeah.
that's a little
Joe's a
different than
black belt
tackling.
in Taekwondo.
Yeah, but you never take anybody down unless you kick them real hard in
Yeah.
Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it's
true.
not there's everything in Taekwondo is from a distance, like you're striking from a distance and you're getting back, like
Yeah.
Krav Maga. When I didn't take very many classes, but that's like right up in your face, grabbing a hold of people and ripping their eyes out and all kinds of stuff. I mean, like
we do practice ripping each other's eyes out. That's part of the no. No,
Yep. But
would
you
not
go
go
for the
well.
vulnerable spots, right? It's self-defense.
Yes.
But who would win a fight between Princess Joe and Ryan? You would, Mar. Because none of the three of us would win. Whoever's watching, they would win.
Yeah, that's actually accurate. Why would any of us win in that scenario? That's a lose scenario, except for the people who are watching.
Right.
Yeah, well said.
Yep. So anyway, I know we got some topics here. Welcome everyone again. It's great to see you guys on this Wednesday. And I don't know. Princess is our chat room hostess, and
That's right.
she's the chief get things deleted by Google moderation team. And
That's new.
I'm
That's a new one.
Joe. Above me is the P of static.
So
Yeah. And you guys are the star, the chat.
awesome.
That's right. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, man?
I'm really good. I got some
That's
really
great.
cool shots today. I have this thing.
Yeah, it's
A GoPro
like a
goes
vice,
on top
and
of
then
it, right?
yeah.
A GoPro goes on top.
What
And
were you shooting?
I was doing some guitar footage and on that guitar back there. And so you clamp this thing like on the headstock or on the body and you can get
Mhm.
like the whole guitar and you get some really cool action shots with it. I was like, oh man, this is so fun.
That's cool, man. That's so cool.
I look profesh, even though I'm not.
Oh yeah, I'm. You are professional, man. You're a professional musician. So there you go.
Sometimes. Depends on what day it is.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so we got some topics. Let's do some topics, don't you think?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go down the list. If you hear your name, then just feel free to give us a shout and say, "Hey, I'm here," and we'll be happy to do your topic. So, the list is Sev Lev, SK, Awkward, Pika, Jesse, Khan Vulcan, Random, Ian Lum, Helmarock Hero, Pear, Lil McGee, Kishin Slayer, Ezekiel Games, Sparrow, and Anonymous. We've got a few anonymized.
That's the word that we go with.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's. I don't think that's the actual accurate pluralization of anonymous.
Yes.
But I prefer anonymi as opposed to anonymouses.
I
or
prefer
anonymous.
that too. What about hippopotamuses?
I like a hippopotami.
Hippopotami.
Again, it sounds better, but it is. I'm not sure because hippopotami denotes that it's Latin. Does hippopotamus come from Latin?
I don't know.
Hippo, meaning large. I think that is Latin. So hippopotami should be hippopotami. Yeah.
Hippopotami should be hippopotami.
Hippopotamus should turn into hippopotami because I
Okay.
believe hippopotamus is Latin.
What if it was
Unless it's Greek
hippopotamus?
that turns into an I. Hmm?
Hippopotamus, like mouse.
Yeah, like
Hippopotamus.
hippopotamus. Yes. Mouses.
Yes, like that.
Got it.
So yeah, I am quite sure that one of the anonymized is listening today. So we could probably do one of those to start with.
Yeah.
And also, if you guys have any topics, Baka, did you have a topic?
Um,
I didn't see one.
Baga had one last time.
Okay. Did we do it last time?
Yes.
We did get one new one, by the way.
We did.
From Baga?
From Baka?
No, from
Hmm.
Flow in Person.
Okay.
They just posted it 27 minutes ago, so
Oh.
I will get that in the chat
Oh,
shortly.
well, thank you.
Yes. Yes. So if
So
you
if
are
you're here,
here,
just let us know.
yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's start with that first anonymous.
Okay.
Anonymous.
Well,
Actually,
this
it's
is
singular
singular.
now. The first
Yeah.
anonymous. The first of the anonymous.
Yes.
That would be appropriate.
Maybe we can do it like Brian Regan and be like anonymousin.
Anonymism.
Yeah. No, like a N, like moosin and boxin, like a box and a donut. Anonymousin.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about now.
Okay.
It took me a minute. I was like, why does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
Sorry. Wasn't very clear.
So yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Let's do that first one. What do you think?
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Is this Sea of Pronouns?
I believe it is called Sea of Pronouns.
Okay.
I'm not anonymous in anything. That's right.
Anonymousin. Nice.
I'm not a missing nothing. Dun,
Cool.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, there's the link. That's the one I was looking for because that's the good one. Oh yeah, you guys don't even need mine. Princess got the
Unless Google
lockdown.
Team decides they want to delete mine.
Oh yeah, I better
like they
put
did
one
my
on
other
there.
link.
I better put one on there just in case.
Yeah.
I don't know
Let's
why
see.
they don't like my links.
Maybe Google Team.
Wow.
What?
It just. Wow.
Quick, click it quick before the Google moderator team deletes it.
There you guys go. Wow.
What in the
Jeez,
world?
Google moderator team. You guys are a jerk
Jeez,
today.
We're
All
gonna
of
have
you.
to.
What
We're
are you-
gonna have to Google why.
Google.
Hey,
Google. That's what
I'm
you're
gonna
have
Google
to do.
Google. Why is Google? There?
Oh my
And mine was
God,
deleted.
it's disappearing.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, well, we should move along, but we should definitely email Google or something.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yep. So click them before the team deletes the other ones. And you can read along with Princess, who's gonna
Yeah.
read it now. So, because she's amazing and awesome and wonderful. And then the awkward silence.
Sorry, I had somebody message me about them wanting to
Oh.
do another. I'm getting so many posts. It's just, not
Wow.
much here.
You're awesome,
Um,
Princess. Thank you for
Yeah, the
handling all
anonymous.
those.
This
That's
is
great.
from Anonymous. Recently, I've taken on the challenge of pronouns, coming to the conclusion that I'm just really don't care, even if I tried to. I know that some people take gender and pronouns extremely seriously, and I'm scared to tell people that I just don't care. I would say that I'm non-binary, but I really don't care if people call me male or female. I'm just a Middleton, a lost Middleton floating in the middle of a gender sea. I just came to this conclusion because from the neck up, I'm constantly told I look like a guy, and from the shoulders down, I look feminine. And honestly, I don't mind what people think I am. I'm just a human, regrettably. I disagree about regrettably. The only problem with my decision is that I have to selectively choose what I am when talking to someone. Above all, generally isn't what you'd hear, is it? Haha. My decision makes my depressed, suicidal, penicillin, anime-filled life way more complicated. But hey, I'm not mad. People around me are. So after reading all of this, I have a question. How can I give a simple answer to, hey, what's your gender? P.S. Ryan bread, a cup of joe, and a yellow banana makes for a healthy breakfast or a healthy Wednesday.
Wow.
Yes.
Princess PS. How am I a banana? XD. From Anonymous.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you,
Fantastic.
Anonymous. That great topic, and I love at the end.
That's great.
That's awesome. Part of a healthy breakfast. That is for sure. But and if it's breakfast time for you, more power to you.
That's right. I hope you
Mm-hmm.
do have a yellow banana because yellow bananas are one of my favorite fruits.
Really? Better than green
Hmm.
ones?
Yeah,
You don't like the green ones?
I've never even eaten a green one, I'll be honest.
Really?
I have to try it someday.
I
Now that I
almost
think about
prefer
it,
the
I've never
green
actually
ones.
had one.
They're a
Huh?
little. I prefer the green ones.
Oh.
They're a little tougher, but yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't. I don't like the closer they get to brown.
I even eat brown ones.
Do you really?
Yeah, that doesn't bother me whatsoever. I know it bothers a lot of people,
I hear
but there's
brown
no
ones are
reason
good
for
for
that.
like bread and stuff. Like
Yeah,
for good for making banana
a
bread
lot of people
and
make banana
that
bread.
kind of
I
stuff
make drinks
and
with it,
whatnot.
but it doesn't really bother me. Like, why? Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways,
But anyway,
onto the topic.
thank you very much for the topic. And here there's a lot of gender, there's a lot of transgender stuff going on these days, and it can be kind of tough to navigate. And just so anyone, if you guys were wondering about, um, oh wow, hey look, it put the topic up there, and I wasn't even trying. Um,
Wow.
um, if you guys were wondering, anyone who's in that camp that's maybe questioning, wondering, all that kind of any of the gender question, we love you no matter what you might be going through, and we feel for you. We understand, that it would seem to me to be a really tough position to be in, because our biology, our biological sex is determined at the level of the chromosome, which is inside our cells, in our DNA, right? It's down to that level. And to have a conflict with that in our person seems to me that it would be very difficult and very tough to deal with. And I don't know how much is brought on by stereotypes in, our culture and in society and stuff. I don't know how much of that is. But you know, at any rate, my heart goes out to you. And hopefully I've given Ryan enough time to think about it. And
Thanks.
I'm going to turn it over to Ryan. So, Ryan, it's all yours.
All right. So yeah, again, this is a pretty good topic, and I can relate to on some of this. Um, my a lot of times I actually got asked for the very first time what was my pronoun. Like, what was it? Probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's just like, whoa, kind of shocked me because I was like, I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. It's the very first time anyone had asked. And when they did, I was just like, I, honestly, you could call me any of those things. I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. I'm I'm sure enough of myself, and I don't care about those things that if you called me a woman on purpose or on accident, because both have happened to me before, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. If
Mm-hmm.
you call me a guy, man, fine. That's perfect. That's what I consider myself. But you know, if you said they or there or whatever, wouldn't bother me. Um, and I think it's kind of for the same reason as the anonymous person posted. We're just human,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. And I think it's super important to, if you ever get the chance to be in a relationship with someone who is struggling with this issue, right? With that internal battle, it's nice to be able to just let them know that you see them as a human first and foremost,
Mm-hmm.
and that you love them, right? I think that's important. Um, and then beyond that, um, um, when when you are being asked to call them, whatever they require, it's not really an issue, right? You can say whatever they ask you to say. It's kind of like a name. Some people change their names from like Dave to Ben or something, and we wouldn't have a problem with that. Like, oh, I changed my legal name. It's like, okay, cool. Now you don't have to go through the government to change your gender, but one thing to note that's important is let them know. If you meet anybody who is going through these tough times, let them know also that you don't think that identity can be summed up by a gender. I think that if you tell people that, they will understand. I think that might be the most appropriate way to respond. If people ask you, "Hey, what's your gender?" you could just say, "I don't think identity can be summed up by a gender." Why? Because we're much more than male or female, right? We are the sum of a whole story, and that story goes beyond ourselves. It goes into our parents and our parents' lives, and their parents' all the way back to the very beginning. Um, it to say that our identity is just male or just female is kind of like, you know, silly to me, because you're missing a whole scope of reality. Like, sure, you know that I'm a male, but did you know that I like popcorn? You could have guessed that, right? But you know, that's part of what I am. I've got all of these different likes and dislikes. I've got all of these different experiences, right? I've got all of these talents and beautiful, beautiful, you know, um, I guess stories or acts that I have done, right? Um, People are made up of so much more than just their physical bodies, right? But if I guess if personally, if you don't have a problem with it, um, if it were me, I would just be like, yeah, I'm a guy. You can call me a guy, because that's what people have always called me. That's what my doctor called me when I was born, and so I don't have any problem with it. So that's what I am. That's kind of my position on it. Now, if you want to say that you're neither, then I guess you could respond with that. If you don't want people to know or you don't care about it, an honest answer is, hey, I just don't care about that sort of thing. Call me he, she, call me my name. My name is blah, blah, blah.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Don't say that, because that would be weird. That's odd.
Right,
That's like,
yeah, that's probably
that sends mixed messages.
You can call me
That's
anonymous.
like, hey, we're really good friends. Like, don't worry about what you call me by some kind of gender. Just call me by my name, Anonymous. Now get out of my life. It's like really mixed messages going on here.
Wow. I wasn't thinking go that far. Jeez.
Yeah. Don't say that's your name, because that's Anyway, I don't have a whole lot much more than that to start off with, but that's what I got for now. I'm gonna give it over to Joe and see what he's got to say about the subject.
Well, I appreciate what you said, Ryan, and I agree wholeheartedly that, and I agree with your post, Anonymous, that, we are human beings. It's funny, recently I actually listened to a podcast by a pastor who's a very strong advocate for women in ministry, and there's been a lot of discrimination against women in ministry positions and stuff like that in a lot of churches, and so he was talking about a lot of this stuff, and it's interesting to me because it seems like it's been used as a way to divide people, unfortunately. Gender or biological sex, it's been a way that we divide people up and kind of isolate, groups of people, and much like race and stuff like that has also been that way, and it really it bothers me a lot that we are divided by gender or biological sex or race or any dividing factor, because we are all human. We are all human, and it's so crazy because I'm a while ago I wrote a song lyric kind of akin to this. It's unreleased yet, but it's basically getting to the point that, hey, you know what? You might have status and titles and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, we're all human, all of us. And so, like, really, like, for somebody to try and press an agenda of, well, you don't belong in this group because of this thing about you, and it's like, well, what? Who gave you the power to do that? First of all, you're a human just like me. You put your pants on one leg at a time, right? Unless you jump into them.
I usually do.
Yeah. So Ryan is superior to all of us, at least me,
Both legs at a time.
because he goes both legs at once, man. Jumps right in.
Mm-hmm.
One
Sometimes I
motion.
do it like a horse.
Yep.
All 4 legs in at once.
Yep. And then he goes, my pants? These are not my pants.
That's right. And then I
These
rip them
are
off,
my
and there's a whole other
pants.
pants underneath them. That's an old one.
Yes. Yes. But at any rate, so like I understand the some of the pain that can be involved here is because of these divisions and because of hey, we're trying to group people up and separate them and all that kind of stuff. Now, there are things to consider, like locker rooms and bathrooms and stuff like that. There are things that there's appropriate behavior and inappropriate behavior, right? So I don't want to go too far into that, but at the same time, here's the funny thing. I'm married to a woman, and she stereotypically is a lot more mannish than I am. No, she was a dancer, and so she did all the girly dancey stuff, right? But like, okay, so if I'm over, so we go over to her parents' house for Thanksgiving or something, right? So we eat the Thanksgiving dinner. I help with the meal. I help with the setting of the table. I help with the dishes. I help with all that stuff, right? She'll go watch football with her dad. You know, it's crazy. Like, so we're like role reversal on Thanksgiving Day, right? But that's a stereotype, and it's really unnecessary. It's like like who says that a woman's job is such and such and a man's job is such and such? It's like, seriously, like, come on, we're people. We're all capable of serving others in the best capacity that we can, right? We all can do what we can do, and really, gender matters not in that regard. So I'm with you. I think if people are wondering what to call you, I mean, I might default to my physical traits, to my biological sex. That's me personally, what I would probably just default to. I used to have long hair, and I remember sitting down at a restaurant with my girlfriend, and they're like, so what would you two ladies like?
Yep. Got that plenty of times myself.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Ain't no issue.
Yep. So, but it's funny. Um. Anyway, yep, Tara, that's great. Gender matters not, but my name's Tara. I like it. So, honestly, if you were asking how I would respond if somebody asked me that, I would probably default and answer with my biological sex. But if I didn't identify that way, I would probably answer the way that I identified. And but here's a little caveat from Joe, and that is that I think as painful as the challenge can be for us to reject our biological cellular, gender, you know, um, it seems to me like things would be a lot smoother if we could align our thinking and our physical traits in that order. I think, to me, it seems like life would be simpler if we were able to do that. Now I know that it's hard, and I'm totally probably being very unrelatable, and I apologize if I'm offending anyone. Probably, we're gonna see all kinds of people drop off the stream because I just said something offensive. You know,
That's great.
but the only thing, I mean, I just hate, I hate having you guys go through painful times, and it seems to me that life could be simpler if we were able to work that out, in our minds and kind of get ourselves in line with, our cellular level stuff. And I know that's not easy, but anyway, before I get us into more trouble, I'm going to hand it over to Ryan again, and he's going to fix everything that I just messed up. So, Ryan, take it away.
No, I mean that's
Erase,
great, and
erase what Joe said.
yeah, no, that's fine. I think that another answer could be just human. What's your
Yeah.
gender? I'm a person. Human. I'm just a person like anybody else, just like you. But honestly, I think if they're asking specifically for gender, just biological is what I would do, just because then it's a lot easier. In the case of medical papers and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to see your doctor, they can they immediately understand your physiology and things like that. And people who are psychiatrists and things like that are going to have an easier time when they see your paperwork if you are what you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you ever have to go in to see a therapist or a psychologist or a doctor or anyone in the medical field, it's a lot easier for them at the least if you just say you're biological, because then they can go, oh, okay, easy. I know what my patient is dealing with. I can help them out.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to go to see a therapist and they're asking, hey, what's your gender? And you give a confused, strange answer, they're going to take that and try to focus in an area that you don't need help in, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a very common theme in the world that we're in today, is people who are suffering through the the throes of um, you know of identification.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you go to your therapist or whatever and you just say, hey, they ask you, how do you identify? If you say something that isn't represented by your body's physical structure, they're going to write that down and say they might have a possible gender dysphoria, or they might be going through some issues because of this identification being, blah, blah, blah. And they'll assume things about you that are unnecessary. So in those cases, I would just put down your biological gender, because that would make most sense, right? And you, and as an anonymous person, would know what that is. I I would not.
Mm-hmm.
But um, regardless, I think you're already on the right foot, though. I think that the fact that you don't care a whole lot about it says a lot, and I think it's super important.
Mm-hmm.
If you run into people who do care a lot, just be gentle, you know. Um, and it's a hard thing, because as soon as we get asked that question, it feels like a loaded bullet, or like a loaded question, right? It feels like when someone brings up that kind of question, it's just like a loaded question, like something bad's coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes people are just trying to get you with those kind of questions. They are out to divide and make enemies.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's nothing. Unfortunately, it's just how it is, and it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's one thing also that I would try to consider. If people are asking what your gender is, and they seem like they are being, um, if they're really into the subject, I'll say like that. If they seem really swayed by those types of topics, I would do your very best to help them understand that we don't need to divide people. I love LGBTQ and everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Equally, I love everybody. But here's the thing: I don't like the culture that a lot of times they get themselves into, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times it just divides people. when
It
you
does.
divide people up with lesbian, gay, bi, which, okay, those first three are sexual preferences.
Mm-hmm.
That's what those are. If your identification is based on who you like sexually, you have got your world and priorities all upside down.
Mm.
That is not your makeup. That's not who you are as a human being,
Mm.
what you are attracted to, what gender you're attracted to, what sex you're attracted to. That should never be, but it is. The culture thinks that that's part of, like, that's a main part of what makes us who we are, is
Mm.
is the gender that we're attracted to. It's like, fine, make a big deal about other attractions then too. I like the color black more than I like the color uh I don't know, green.
How dare you?
That's wow.
I like the
You
color
know,
green best of all.
yeah, I know. I'm a terrible person, right?
Man,
Or
I
or
protest
like,
against you.
yeah, I mean, that
I'm
was a
sorry.
silly. I like thin carpet less than big fat carpet. I like really thick carpet because it feels better under my feet. Because that's the kind of human being I am, and that's all that I am. That's my whole identification, is that I like stepping on, you know. So you get the point, right? It's so silly to focus all of that passion that humans can build up and do great things with, and to settle for just that. You are so much more as a human being. So let people know that when you talk to people, if they're interested in that subject, let people know that they are so much more than what they're attracted to. There's so much more than an experience, a singular experience of attraction. They're much more than that. You know, and in the culture, right? It's like, "Oh, I'm this, so that's what I am. So I'm not the same as you." It's like, we're pretty much a lot more similar than we are different. We humans tend to be more alike than we are different. Yes, we are very different, and we like different things, and we do different things, and our whole lives are unique stories, and we're all very different in that. But we are very alike in more things than we are different, because we're human. We all have physical bodies that make up this humanness, and it's an amazing thing. And we shouldn't try to boil it down to what we like or how we feel or how our brains have come to figure out who we are, right? If we're male or female, right? You're just in a body, whatever that body is, right? Which is great, just like everybody else. So we don't need to divide each other up, right? We don't need to divide each other up. So I would, again, if you've given the opportunity, be very kind and gentle towards them and lead them in a direction that lets them understand they are far more than just LGBTQ, male, female, whatever, that they are a human being. And that means way more. That they are a unique individual with their own story and their own future ahead of them that you care about. I think that's way more beautiful than anything that than anything that will ever come out of LGBTQ culture. And I'm not saying I hate them, because here's the thing: I'm glad that that culture arrived so that we could get to the point we're at now. But there comes a point where you go too far. There are some LGBTQ people that aren't taking it too far, and that's fine. But there are some that I know personally that do, and it's just like, that really sucks.
Right.
But it is what it is,
Yeah.
right? So, um, yeah, just let them know that you love them. But obviously, that wasn't your question. Your question is what you should answer. They call you, and I think that the best logical answer is just whatever your biological components are, so that it makes it easier on the rest of the world, and it makes it easier on the doctors as well. Because if you don't care, then why not just make it easy for everybody? So there you go.
Yeah.
Back to you, Joe.
Hey, thanks. And I love what you were getting to at the end. And I have to highlight Terry's comment. Hi, sorry. I
Hmm.
love both of you. I'm not trying to cancel you or anything. I agree with you. But LGBTQ and Pride, it's about celebrating the progress we've made as a community. And that
Hmm.
goes right in line with what you were just closing your statements with there, Ryan. And it's true because like people have used the anti LGBTQ as an opportunity to hate.
Right.
And that's wrong.
That's unfortunate.
Yep. So like I mean, whatever opinion we have, it doesn't give us we no matter what we think of, attractions or transgender movement or anything like that, no matter what our opinion is, it's never a valid reason to express hate ever. Even if you think you're right and you're standing on this moral ground, but like seriously, if you're on such a high moral ground, how come you're hating? How come you're hating anyone? The high moral ground is love your neighbor. you know?
Yeah. Well, when you have high morals, you're not so concerned with the other individuals so much that you need to hate them.
Right.
Generally, you're just like they'll do what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just
Yep.
gonna do what's morally right.
Right. And so you love them and it's like, hey, you try and understand where they're coming from. And like that's what we do. That's the idea. But anyway, Anonymous, I think there's another comment up here I saw in the chat from Mar that was agreeing with you. Where was it? I can't find it. I'm scrolling up. Now I'm to the Google moderator deleting all of our links. But it was something about yeah. I if you go okay, there we go. I'm in the same waters as Anonymous. I visited a therapist. Just told her my biological sex at the start. And then when we started talking more, I told her that I identified as whatever. And that's a great way to go because then, yep, for anyone who's a doctor, they're gonna want to know that the way you're built is the way you're built. They don't want a surprise when they take a MRI and they see all kinds of organs that are different than what you said you had.
Yeah, yeah, that could be bad because they might be trying to treat you for something that you couldn't even have, or you would less likely have.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So at any rate, it's the problem. I'm with Ryan that we don't want to get so caught up into identities that we forget the fact that we're so much more than that. Male or female, gay, lesbian, bi, straight, trans, all of that. Those are just labels about that refer to our experience, but they don't identify us because there's so much more. We are human beings. We have talents. We have gifts. We have families. We have, people that care about us. We have dreams and goals and a purpose for being here. We have something to do while we're here. We have a specific way that we can contribute to the world. And it's beautiful. And every single one of us has something unique. We're a unique makeup of all kinds of life experiences. And we've got something special to do that only we can do. And we need to share it with the world in whatever capacity we possibly can. I used to think that people were weird if they weren't like me. And I'm like, man, it's a good thing. It's a good thing there aren't very many people like me because I'm all messed up.
I could do with a couple more of you in my life.
I don't know about that, man.
Maybe just like
you,
a couple of slaves or something.
you,
I'm just kidding.
because Joe, you're a really hard worker. I could use a
Yeah, you
couple.
are,
I could
man.
use
You
a
really
couple
are.
people like you hanging around my house.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yes. But at any rate, thank you so much, Anonymous. Thank you for this conversation. because it's important. It's timely. There's a lot going on these days with all of these things, with gender, with race, with all these things that can be dividers, and they can be causes for people to hate each other and to be angry and to rile against each other. And really, the goal should be unity. The goal should be, hey, we are one human family, and we should appreciate each other in our differences. And, whatever our opinion is of how somebody acts or how somebody's experience is or whatever, we really should love each other. And we really should be compassionate toward each other. And it really, really bothers me when we're not. And so I'll get off my soapbox now and just thank you so much for that topic, Anonymous. So you're awesome. And know that we love you no matter what, no matter how you identify. Our love doesn't depend on that. So we love you. So anyway, thank you again. And hopefully some of that was helpful. Hopefully some of that was enlightening, or at least not too offensive.
Oh, it's a touchy topic right now, so I think it will be for a couple more years.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
least.
it's all right.
Might be why the moderators just had an auto-delete function.
Maybe, but they aren't auto-deleting,
They're auto-deleting
they weren't
before.
auto-deleting the controversial statements. They were auto-deleting the links.
New algorithm, new YouTube. Who knows?
New algorithm. I even Googled it while Ryan was talking. I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
There is one from Baka. I just happened to miss it when I was doing my look through.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
he does
right.
have a new one.
Yeah, well, let's do that then, shall we? Or should we go through the list?
You can go through the list, just see who's here.
All right. If anyone is here, we'll do it. And if not, we'll do Baka's next. So Baka says YouTube is always broken. That's a topic in itself. Right there. We could go on. Or I could at least.
I think Google would start censoring us if we're not about that. So they might actually have a reason to start doing that if we go on that topic.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So we got Sevlev, SK, Awkward, Pika, Jesse, Con Vulcan, Random, Ian Lam, Helmarock Hero, Pear, Lil McGee, Kishin Slayer, Ezekiel Games, Sparrow, Baka. And then we have a couple more Anonymi, Ploen, and Lord Francium. And I think first on the list, Crescendo is Lord Francium.
Oh, cool.
Hey,
Okay.
Awesome. Good to know.
And also just a public announcement for anyone who might be watching the videos and can't make it to the live streams, you are welcome to still get your topic in on the queue. Just either put a note in your topic or send a DM to me, just letting us know that you can't be there, and I will make sure that they will still cover it. So
Yes.
even if you can't be here, you can still send in a topic and it will still be in the queue, and we'll still make sure that they cover it.
Yes.
Thank you, Princess.
Thank you. Yes.
You're on top of it.
much.
And Garo Space Tech is also as Ploen.
Oh, fun.
Cool.
Nice. I think I'm thinking we should resurrect the podcast of this show. What do you think?
You want to get Jeff on that? Is that what the plan is? Or
What's that?
are you going to handle it yourself?
Well, probably I'll handle it.
All right.
I got all the I could
Go for it.
Knock yourself out.
Go
if
for
I
it,
knock
Joe.
myself out, then I won't do it because I'll be knocked
you won't
out.
be able to do anything because you'll be knocked out. Okay, don't knock yourself out. Break a leg.
Break a leg.
Yeah, you can do it while you're in pain.
Yeah, that's right. I could do it with a broken leg. I could do more of it with a broken leg because then I wouldn't be able to drive.
That's right. You wouldn't be able to drive, and
I'd
you'd
be
be forced
stuck.
to stay at
I'd
your
be
house.
stuck right here.
So could you imagine?
What?
I'm trying to make it sound like it's a good thing. It's not.
If I broke my leg, yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
All right. Yeah. So let's do Baka's then, shall we? The one about fighting perceptions.
Sure.
Okay.
Break a leg. That sounds more painful. I agree. It does sound
Yeah.
painful. But you know what?
Depends on how you knock yourself out, I guess.
I'd take one for the team to do more podcasts.
Ouch.
I would. They might get weird though, because then I'd be on pain meds, and so like you never know what you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, then don't worry. Wednesdays start to sound a little bit funny.
It'd be weird. Hey everybody, it's Don't Worry Wednesday. That's not probably my voice on pain meds, but you know, whatever.
No, you. Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
Please click that link. It may disappear. We'll find
Yes.
out.
Click the link. I'm gonna put another one in there. I got it ready to go. Boom. Oh, and Static's doing it too. Everybody
Yeah.
post it. Everybody copy paste it. Oh,
last
wait.
time both of your links got nixed
So
by
did yours.
Google, but mine didn't.
It didn't?
So, yeah,
I
mine
thought
never
yours
did.
did too. Interesting. All right. Well, anyway,
Maybe on your side it did. I don't know.
maybe
it didn't
they
tell me.
Yeah, it
changed
did on my side as well.
Oh no, it did. It did. It just did it after both of yours. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
weird.
Well,
Yeah.
Yep. So let's yeah. Click one of those links quick and then read along with Princess.
This is Fighting Perceptions. I have always had morals of right and wrong. Since a young age, I've always wanted to become a police officer. I have set this goal and I haven't strayed far from it. I'm at the point of taking helpful high school classes. I have my head set on the moral of I would be willing to risk my life/safety to save others. Now I have started looking onto colleges, and now everything that is happening is kind of clouding the clarity of my choice. I still want to become a police officer, but my moral of what is right and is wrong is being beat up by willing to risk my life to save others. Not that I'm losing the moral, but that I'm struggling with the biased media I see all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared that I will be looked down upon by modern society with all that has happened. I still plan on becoming a police officer, yet I still have a small worry that I'm going to be shunned over modern politics and all that. Is it weird to have morals that bump heads? Should I be so pressured by the media? Sometimes I just feel lost. From Baka.
This is definitely a dilemma. Baka, thank you so much for the topic. And thank you for your willingness, your desire to serve in this capacity. Because, all the stuff that's going on right now with regard to police and everything like that, it's, it's easy to look at it at the surface and be like, oh, it's just anti-police. And there are probably a lot of people out there that are simply anti-police, but really it's just anti-bad police. Of which I am of the general opinion that most policemen out there and women, most police officers are good people. They uphold the law. That's one thing, I'm kind of a stickler for consistency, or at least I try to be. And so like when I see a cop off duty, breaking the law in some regard, I start to kind of question, should you be a cop? Because you're supposed to uphold the law. Like, come on, man. Like that's your job, your law enforcement. But we do need that. That is a job that needs to be out there. Somehow we do need some kind of enforcement of the law for people that are trying to harm others, or when there's an accident, or all these kinds of situations where we need police officers to step in and help and do that job. It becomes a problem when that power gets abused, or when people start to think that, hey, well, because I uphold the law, I'm somehow above the law, like stuff like that, that kind of muddies the waters a little bit. But Baka, I tell you, if you are a person of integrity, and I believe you are, and you want to become a police officer, yes, the road might be a little bit harder now than it was before. There might be opinions about you if you become a police officer that would be hard to deal with. There might be people that would be biased against you because of that profession. I mean, that's kind of always been the case. I mean, but usually the people that were biased against police officers were people who were doing something that wasn't that was illegal, or something. But at any rate, I understand where you're coming from, and yes, there's a big fear, but it is still a necessary job. And if in your heart you think you can do it well and you can do it with integrity, then I would still pursue it and just be the example of, a good cop, a cop that does their job. So anyway, that's how I'm gonna start it, and I'm gonna turn it over to Ryan. So Ryan, take it away.
All right. Well, I'm I'm not entirely convinced of this comment that I'm about to make, but I'm fairly certain there aren't a whole lot more people that dislike police now than there used to be 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I would say that anybody who hated police before still hate them, and they're just really loud about it now. Anybody who was okay with police before are still okay with police, and they're just like, it's the same. I don't think anybody's really been swayed by the media. Yes, people have taken an opportunity to kind of go crazy, but I'm pretty sure that the amount of people that dislike police, that hate the police, etc., are pretty much the same. I can't be completely convinced of that comment just because I'm not everybody. I don't know what everybody's thinking. But from the people that I know and from the experiences I've had and just kind of talking to people, the media is exaggerating by showing only one side of it, one side of the coin. I would say that it's not any worse now than it used to be with the amount of people that disrespect or dislike police officers. It's about the same. I can't say that for certain again, but I'm fairly sure. So have confidence that people like police officers. If anyone's ever been in a serious accident, you bet they're your bottom dollar that they like police officers, because
you're glad when they show up.
You are happy when they show. Yes, not happy. Happy is not the right word, but you are glad. Yeah, you are very relieved when they are the ones that show up on the scene, right? It's one of the most relieving things for people who are in heavy, terrible accidents, is when a police officer shows up and they're like, oh gosh, okay, I'm in good hands. Someone's trying to help me, someone who's strong, someone who's been through this scenario more than one time, they're going to help me. It's a huge relief to a lot of people. And when something bad has happened around your neighborhood or even in your house and a police officer comes, you have that, like, okay, good, someone's here who can help protect me, right? So anybody who's ever been through those scenarios likes the police. And yeah, that's not a whole lot of people, but those people like the police enough to vouch for them. Because that's really the true nature of great police officers, is their willingness to go through danger for the sake of another person's safety, which is an incredible thing. That's nothing to just kind of say, oh, it's no big deal, right?
Scoff.
Yeah, scoff at, right? There you go. To bat an eye at, is that the line? Something like that. Anyways, it's a very, very beautiful thing, right? And we all agree with that. I'm pretty sure even people who hate the police. Here's the thing: you can make that comment, and they will 100% agree with you. But their next line is going to be, but blah 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 blah. Police suck. Like, why do they have to stand out on the side of the road and measure our speeds all the time? Like, that's a waste of time. I want them saving people, not just disrupting our whatever driving experience, blah, blah, blah. Right. So, those statements, though, even the people who dislike police will agree that police officers are very, very courageous and very useful and helpful to our society. And that's awesome, right? So even we can find that middle ground. Of course, people who are going to hate want to hate, and they're going to hate loud.
Mm-hmm.
You ever ask anybody about the food that they like? They'll tell you. But you ever ask someone about the food that they'll hate? Oh, they'll really tell you on that one. They get all kinds of excited when they talk about the food that they hate, and I don't understand why. People are weird. But like, if I'm eating something, for example, if I'm eating like something my brother likes, he'll be like, "Oh, that's good, man." But if I eat something that my brother doesn't like, my brother would be like, "Dude, you're disgusting. Why would you eat that? That's so gross. That's like, like blah 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 blah." Like people are fueled a lot more by anger
Mm-hmm.
or by distaste or by disgust. And so they're a lot louder. It doesn't mean there's any more of them. So if you're worried about how people will see you in the modern day with how the media is projecting police officers, the media is not really changing a whole lot of people's minds on the subject. They're just only interviewing the people who they can get a flare out of.
Mm.
They're just covering the stories that make things look bad.
Mm.
But that's not changing anybody who is of sane mind. The people who hated them hate them still, and people who loved them love them still. So don't expect what you see in the media to be how it actually is out in the real world. Don't think that just because the media only shows that even 20% of like even 20% of people hate police officers. It's a lot less than that.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. There are people who don't care for the police. Sure. Like when I was young and immature, I thought that the police were kind of dumb. I didn't hate them. I just like, what's the point of that? Why do we got to have police officers, But as I matured, I realized, oh yeah, we need those, you know? So, I think that um, it's a very noble profession, and it's one of the most noble professions that you can have in our day and age. And so I've met quite a few police officers in my day, and I've run into stupid ones. And by that, I mean, they weren't stupid. They weren't terrible people. They were good police officers. But in that moment when I was with them, they behaved very poorly.
Mm-hmm.
I've had cops swear at me. Don't do that if you're a cop. Don't swear at people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Don't call them a dumb butt over and over. Okay? You're not gaining anything when you do that. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
My friend crashed his car. I was in the car, and he was like, "You guys were going like, I don't know." He said something weird, some number. He just threw it out there, and I was like, "No, you can look at the state of the car. We were going like 5 miles an hour." And he was like, "You guys," and he got so upset. And I was like, "Yeah, it's my fault for trying to correct somebody who thinks he's more powerful and stronger and better than every way than me."
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah, I
You
told
did.
him.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was on my friend about it.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was swearing at my friend.
Uh-huh.
And so then I corrected him. I was like, I defended my friend because that's what you do. And so I defended my friend, and he got upset at me for that. And so then he turned all that anger to me. I don't know. He must have been having a really bad day though, because it was weird. He threatened. He asked like, "Hey, do you want to graduate? What year? What grade are you in?" And I was like, "This is my senior year. Do you want to graduate this year?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, then you better shut up." And I was like, "Excuse me?" He's like, yeah, if you want to graduate, you better shut your mouth. And I was like, okay, sure. Apparently, I talked to my brother about it later. There's nothing legally he could do to
Mm.
stop me from graduating. There's like literally no things. He couldn't arrest me. Like he could try to arrest me, and then he'd be taken to court, and then he would no longer be a police officer. So, anyways, I think it's an important thing if when you become a police officer not to think that you're better than other people because you have better morals.
Mm.
It's important to it's important to continue to treat people with respect, right? And as long as you do that, people will respect you back. Period.
Mm-hmm.
There are tons of people. I can tell you this. There are tons of people out there who when they see my long blonde hair, they have zero respect for me.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. They're going to assume things about me, maybe that I'm a druggie or that I'm wild and or whatever, right? They talk to me for like a minute, even less than a minute. In fact, they come up to me and they see my pose and they immediately start to respect me, which is surprising. But that goes for me, and I'm not a police officer, right? No matter what you are in this world, people will find ways to hate on you, okay? But you just be you, Box Chan. No, I'm just kidding. Baka, you just be you and respect other people, and almost immediately you're going to find that people respect you back. Because when people meet other people face to face, they realize that you're a human being when you treat them like a human being. Mm-hmm. And then when you treat them like a human being, they recognize that you're a human being too. All of that hate, all of that bias against police officers, all of that disgusting silliness goes away immediately. And it's amazing. And so I would just say go for it. Don't worry about what the media is trying to make it look like, because the truth is, I mean, the media does this all the time where they take a handful of people, it's like 3% of the world, and they focus on it super hard and they make the whole world look like just 3% of the world. They do it all the time. And I can't say that that's 100% the case in this scenario, but I'm pretty sure it's the case. The statistics haven't come in yet, but everybody I've talked to seems to be on the same page here that we don't got problems with police officers. White or black. You guys are awesome. So anyways, that's what I got. Joe, back to you. You can take it away. Yeah. Oh, what I was trying to say before is sorry. The police officer who disrespected me, right? He was not respectful for me, so I was not respectful back, and that was a bad scenario, right? Mm-hmm. So respect people, right? That's important. But even that didn't change my mind about police officers. Why? That changed my mind about him. Mm. I was like, that's a dumb police officer. But that's not what all police officers are. Uh-huh. I could say, like, that's a dumb baker. But it doesn't mean bakers are bad people. Right? So, there you go. Back to you, Joe.
No, I appreciate that, Ryan. And it's true, like, it's tough because it doesn't matter what group of people you get into. There are going to be good and bad folks in all of them.
Oh yeah,
right.
Bad apples everywhere.
And so one thing, this is actually, I was thinking about this as Ryan was talking, and I was like, this could be a pretty good time to become a police officer, or to at least start thinking about this, because you remember the last, I don't know. I don't remember when the last scandal came out, but the Catholic Church has had a few scandals recently. One was in 2003. One was recently. There were a bunch of abuse scandals, priestly abuse scandals and stuff like that, right? After that stuff came out, like, everything tightened up. Everybody got really vigilant. And a lot of really awesome, great Catholics came out of the woodwork and really started to make a difference. And, so, one thing, I was thinking about this as Ryan was talking, and I was like, this could be a pretty good time to become a police officer, or to at least start thinking about this, because And so, like, if there's even a hint of anything, of a rumor of anything like that going on in a church, like, people are all over it, making sure that nothing like that even remotely comes close to even being thought of happening. And I hope that the same thing happens here. Because there is kind of a culture, you know. I mean, I know a fair amount of policemen. Some I respect, some I don't. I try to respect everybody, but it's hard to respect the guy who bullied you in high school and then became a cop and still bullies people now. You know, he's a bully. And there seems to be a lot of that. I know people who are like, hey, hey, I'm a policeman, so, I drive as fast as I want. And then when I get pulled over, I just show my badge and they just let me go. And it's like, you ought to get charged double.
Triple.
Like, seriously, you're supposed to be the example, right? So it's like, man, like, don't tell me that, because I'm an idealist, right? Like,
yeah. Me too.
Don't brag about that, because it's like, no, I'm all about consistency. And it's like, seriously, if you're going to live that way, be consistent. Like, seriously, be consistent. You will feel better the more consistent you are with what you believe in, with what you espouse to be. If you want to serve people, if you're willing to put your life on the line to help people and to stand in the gap, we need people like that, man, everywhere. We need more and more people like that, for sure. And we need zero of the people who are like, hey, I got this position, and so now I can do what I want. Or we're going to a friend's house who's a policeman, and the first thing he did was he opened up the fridge, grabbed his big old pitcher of some drink stuff that he'd mixed up. This is an alcoholic household here, blah, blah, blah. And, we're sitting down to play games, and I'm like, wait a minute, dude. You're, like, getting yourself hammered. And I've seen this guy at wedding receptions and all kinds of stuff, like, drinking like a fish and then going and driving home. I'm like, man, you're a cop. Like, the standard ought to be higher, right? I mean, if we are in charge of something, our standards need to be higher to fit that authority level. And it's really a shame to me. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I had some interesting times with cops, but I'm from a small town, and, like, when I came out of it, when I graduated high school, I had long hair. Much like Ryan, and then it started falling out, so I shaved it.
That's not what you told me. You told me you got tired of it, of waking up and it being caught in your armpit.
I did. That's true. That's why I cut it.
Yeah.
It was awful. Either that, or like I'd put my hand down on my pillow to push my head up off the bed.
That's the only one that's happened to me.
And my hair would get caught under and it'd pull my hair.
That's annoying.
That is dumb. But at any rate, so there seems to me, I don't know if this is universal, but there seems to be a culture of above the lawness that needs to be addressed. There seems to be a number of police in lots of different departments that I've experienced that seems to be the case. And, like Ryan had talked about that one policeman who was like, do you want to graduate? Well, you better keep your mouth shut. It's like, really? Like, what are you going to do? Like, seriously, I don't know. And it's just, it's really an interesting situation. So now is a perfect time when the spotlight is shined on an issue. Now's the time for good cops to be good cops and to have a high standard and to take pride in the fact that they're cops and to not be like this entitled to above the lawness nonsense. Like, no, now's the time to really be the example. And if you're willing to do that, Baca, you should definitely pursue being a police officer, and you should be an example, and you should show your colleagues what it means. And here's the thing, if it's like any other workplace I've ever worked in, I work hard and I get made fun of for it. I worked hard in school. I got bullied for it. So I stopped working hard in school. And then what happened was I got really bitter. I ended up in depression. There's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of bad stuff that happened. It's because I let people who had lower intentions get to me. And now I don't care. If I'm working at a place, I will work hard. I remember doing that at a grocery store. I worked at a grocery store. I was stocking shelves, and I would just blast as much stock as I could just to get it out there and go as fast as I could and work really hard. And I even told the manager, I was like, seriously, I'm used to being self-employed, so like I try and get things done. I don't like just sitting around doing nothing, right? So I like to accomplish things. So I try to get a lot of stuff done fast. So if I'm doing something wrong, I'm going to get a lot done wrong in a short period of time. So if you see me doing something wrong, you need to stop me and correct it. So then I don't have to go back and fix it, unless you want to torture me by making me go back and fix it. I guess that's your prerogative. But the funny thing is, it's like my coworkers, they didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that I would work hard. They'd make fun of me for it. But you know what? I didn't care anymore. I was like, hey, I'm here to do this. I'm going to do it. I feel much, much better about myself when I'm actually doing my job and when I have integrity. Right? And so, yes. So, Baca, I think if that's the kind of cop you want to be, do it. Be that guy. And don't worry about other people. Don't worry about coworkers who are not as, they don't have as good a character as you. Don't worry about, a lazier guy. Don't worry about any of that. You just go be good at what you do. And you'll feel better. All the noise from all the bullies, it might be hard at first. But after a while, you just kind of get used to it, and you're just like, man, I feel bad for them. Because they're going down a path that's going to lead to them doing something that's going to cause a problem. Like what we have, what we have going on in our society today. It's just these guys made concessions for themselves, made character decisions that went the wrong way, and then over and over and over again, and then you end up in a spot where it's like you're doing something that, is really wrong. So make sure that your character is lined up. And you do that, you're going to be a great cop. And I think that'd be awesome. So that's what I got. Ryan, back to you.
Yeah, no, thanks, Joe. I think that was great. I don't have a whole lot more, but I did want to touch on a topic that you were talking about a little bit. One thing that's interesting is you have things like, okay, the Catholic Church. Joe and I are both Catholics, so we experience things differently, and in interesting ways. But the Catholic Church, when you hear of like, for example, a sex scandal or something, you have like the terrible, terrible, terrible case when a priest is with a child or something, right? And they do things that they shouldn't do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that blows up on the media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you know that happens in school in teachers' rooms, offices, etc., about 1,000 times, if not more, than it ever happens in the Catholic Church. You probably didn't realize that because the media wouldn't tell you that.
Mm.
But what happens is the people who the world sees as highfalutin, they're supposed to set the law, they're above us, right? The Catholic Church is known for having people who tell people how they're supposed to act or else they're sinning, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they see us.
Mm-hmm.
The police, you're enforcing people how to act. If they don't act that way, they're sinning and you're forcing them to do something, right? People don't like when there are powers above them. Personally, I'm grateful that there are powers above me, but that demands a sense of maturity that there are people who don't have that. And that's okay. They'll get there someday, right? Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
I can be grateful though, right? Because I can rely on people who are above me that are good, right? And that's a beautiful thing. The thing we don't like is when people who are better and higher than us in power or whatever are acting poorly, right? But my point here is this: the media and it is human nature. It is human nature to look at someone who is an authority and immediately assume that they're wrong. It's human nature to look at an authority power and say, I don't want to be under their power. I want to do my own thing. I want to be completely free of that, etc. Right? Because the common nature in our society today, I can't say it's human nature, but it's our society. Um, our current society has a kind of warped view of self freedom and self righteousness and all of this kind of stuff, where we are our own gods and we want to be in complete control over ourselves. And anybody who stands above us is, we have to figure out how to put them down beneath us so that we can, you know, have full control over ourselves and things like that. And so it's very typical for them to pick on people who appear righteous. Oh, people love to pick apart people who pretend to be righteous. People love to look at someone who is like, they're all highfalutin and they say they're all holy and all this kind of stuff, but look at how they did this wrong. And they get so excited and etc. That's in vain. It's stupid, but people do it, right? Don't let those people change your mind about what is right and wrong. Of course, they don't. You said in your post. And don't let those people change your mind that they're not worth saving, because they are. Because that's like, if they're in a bad spot and they need someone to save them and you're that person, how much more glorifying is it that you just saved somebody who hates you just because of your title, just because you're supposed to be holy or whatever it is, right? Police officers, now it's not holy, but it's pretty much the same thing. Police officers are supposed to be good and righteous and saving people. People like to try to find out where you're wrong and pick on you and hate on you. So if you can actually be that person in those moments of need for people who need it, man, that's amazing. And they will change their mind immediately about police officers. Seriously,
Mm-hmm.
they will change their mind when someone comes to meet them face to face and touches their heart in their time of need, you know? So don't don't give it a second thought that people don't aren't not going to sorry that people aren't going to appreciate you. Don't worry about the people who pick on you because you're trying to do the right thing. Those people are out there, they always will be.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to save them in their time of need. And maybe some of them will continue hating on you even though you saved them. I just say all the more glory to that. That's amazing. That just shows how awesome you are. That that even you're saving people who don't like you, and then they continue to dislike you, and that you still go and you continue to save people, like that makes you so awesome. How, like, you've got like, you're like made of metal or something, right? You don't let anybody stand in your way from doing the right thing, doing what's good. And I think that that's the kind of people we need in the service, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of people we need everywhere in our
Mm-hmm.
daily lives. We need fathers like that in our homes. Period. We don't have these fraidy cats running away from a child because they don't know how to handle life, or they're afraid, or they don't want to take responsibility, right? And then, yeah, that's rough. We need fathers with that kind of conviction that will just do the right thing no matter what the cost. We need mothers who will do that as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all, as everyone here can agree with that. But to be one of those people helps other people start being that way as well. And being a police officer puts you in the public eye of someone who's doing the right things. And so that is a beautiful, wonderful occupation, because it puts you, who wants to do the right thing and to do good for the world, in the public eye for people to see you and start to imitate you, and then grow to become more like you and be inspired by you, all while you're just doing good things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so cool. But anyways, that's what I got. And I'm going to give it back over to Joe.
Well, thanks, Ryan. I don't really have a whole lot else, but I do think it's interesting. You were talking about how people will deride police officers, and it's just part of what some people do. People deride priests. It's just what some people do. I think that's pretty universal for any profession.
Yeah.
There is
Chefs,
somebody who
heavens.
will deride some, no matter what we decide to do, somebody will deride that. I'm a musician. I mean, man, my kids go to private school. I'm a musician, broke musician. I'm also a property inspector, right? They're like, man, and here I am with all these other parents who are like doctors and lawyers and bankers and stuff, right? And so it's like, I'm like this guy, like, ugh, don't get too close to him. Like, luckily everything, like we can't go there because of all the COVID stuff. So it's been kind of a relief. But like, so there's, because of all the remote learning, there's, there aren't lots of school events that everybody's showing up to. So that's kind of cool. But, as a property inspector, the same thing. Most of that is people don't understand what it is I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, why are you taking pictures of my neighborhood? Why are you taking a picture of me? As this lady asked me the other day. I was like, I don't think I was taking a picture of you.
Yeah, sorry
I
if
was
I
taking a
caught
picture
you
of
in it. I
that
don't think I
house
did.
back there. Like, like, did I get a picture of you? Like, when was this? I had to get the street sign. I had to get the neighborhood, like what? I didn't see you anywhere. But it's crazy, but it doesn't matter what you do. Somebody's either going to make fun of it. Somebody's going to be upset about it. Somebody's, it's just going to happen. So you know what? Be who you're going to be. And be the best at it. If that's where you feel called to be, don't fight that calling. Because seriously, I can speak from experience. You will waste years of your life not pursuing what it is you're called to do. You'll be exhausted. You won't, it'll be a real challenge. It'll be long and drawn out and hard and painful. But when you're doing what you feel called to do, it's glorious. And it doesn't even really matter. Like, so, eventually you get to a point where it's like, you know what? I don't care what people are going to say. Somebody's going to say something dumb about it anyway. I'm just going to go and do what I feel is necessary to do. I'm going to do what feels right and what I feel like I'm called to do. And that's what you're going to be the best at. So, man, do it and be good at it. And thank you very, very much for the topic. You are awesome, Baka.
Yeah.
And you know we love you around here.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
You're awesome.
Yep. And in fact, we've been the character that you emulate there in your avatar. We've been talking about how to give that person. Would you consider Box a person in the Criminal Idols series?
A being.
A being. Yep. We're trying to figure out how to give that being a bigger role.
There you go.
Because it's awesome.
They might not be a human being. They're a box being.
They're a box being, yes. A multifaceted, fully developed character in the story. But yeah.
That's right.
Thank you, Baka. And I think, you know what? We started kind of late, so I think we got time to do one more.
We got time for one more.
Princess, do you have time for one more? All right.
Yep.
Sounds good. Sorry. I didn't give you a chance to
Time
answer.
is 142.
Okay, yeah. We got time to do
Cool.
one more. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
awesome. Well, again, thank you, Baka. We love you. And yeah, it's glad to see you as every time that you come. So thank you. So yeah, what do we got next? We got to check who's here probably, huh?
Sparrow.
Oh, yeah, Sparrow's here. Sparrow is here.
Yes.
And although, was Ezekiel Games, are you here? I feel like I might have seen you, but maybe not.
You go down the list.
Just go down the
All right,
list.
I'll go down the list. Sevlev, SK, Awkward, Pika, Jesse, Con Vulcan, Random, Ian Lam, Helmarock Hero, Pear, Lil McGee, Kitchen Slayer, Ezekiel Games, Sparrow, Anonymous, Ploen, and Lord Francium. Now, Crescendo, you are Lord Francium, right? That's Lord Francium.
Yes.
Right? Crescendo?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Garo, who are you?
Ploen.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So, yep. So Sparrows is on top
Sparrows
of the
was
list.
posted on April 14th, so I guess theirs would come first.
Yep. All right. So let's do that one. Whoa, what the heck? On our spreadsheet, there's an anonymous blobfish.
You're right.
I'm glad
there
you're
is.
like thinking of me as an anonymous blobfish, you know.
I figured
Yeah,
that's...
you're welcome. Thanks for presenting yourself as an anonymous blobfish.
Wow. Yeah.
Even if it was not by choice.
Hey, did you know the link stayed on the last topic?
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
It might have been because the other one was pronoun related. I don't know.
Well,
Oh, that could be.
I don't think so because they were deleting your links before.
Yeah, I don't know what it'd be about
that's
the
true.
other one, but
We're all posting links now. Everybody who's got a wrench
Everybody
next to their
posted a
name,
link.
man, we're posting the links.
Everybody posted a link.
that's
Yeah.
not true.
Everybody do the
So
flop.
people's won't be allowed.
Right.
But
You got to have a
Yeah.
wrench.
That's true. I was about to suggest that too, but they would. Theirs would just be immediately blocked by YouTube.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, let's do Sparrow's topic. You
Let's
guys
go.
can click any one of those 3 links. Just close your eyes and pick one. Yep.
so this is What's a Good Way to Make Friends by Sparrow. Ayo, gang, long time no see. Just came back to ask a quick question. What's a good way to make friends as a high school student? I'm never really good at meeting new people, especially IRL. From Sparrow.
Cool.
Thank you, Sparrow. This is a great topic. Yeah, what's a good way to make friends as a high school student? You know, I'm a little bit distantly removed from high school. It's been a while. When I was in high school, I feel like I was probably in the same boat as you, where I didn't really know how to make friends all that well. I had a hard time with that whole thing. I had a few close friends, most of them that were friends with me from when I was in middle school, some from elementary school, and I had a hard time. I've learned some stuff since then. There are some things you can do. And Ryan knows them very well because he's really good at this. So I'm going to turn it over to Ryan and he's going to explain it.
Explain it. All right, I'm gonna explain it to you.
Explain it,
Um,
Ryan.
because you asked me
Because
the
I asked you. You better.
question.
So you need to explain it.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I was in the same boat as Joe through most of school. From like second grade. My first grade was great. First grade went perfect for me. I made a ton of friends, and then second grade happened, and then I lost them all. Um,
What?
yeah,
Seriously?
yeah. You want to know what happened? There's
Yeah. What
one
happened?
kid. He was like, he. I went into second grade, and they had this little fort um, inside the teacher's room. Like the classroom had a fort inside of it. And I was like, oh, it's cool. And it was like a little house. And, all the kids were playing in it. And one kid was like, he was a boy. And I don't know if he was jealousy or what, but I think he saw that all the girls were always wanting to be around me because all
Because
my
you're
friends were
Ryan.
girls. I don't know why. It just happened. And so I think they were easy to make friends with and get along with.
Oh my gosh. I was always scared of
Anyways.
girls.
Oh, what? What the heck? Why? I don't
Anyway,
know.
sorry.
Anyways, yeah, and then I went up and he was like, "You're not allowed in here." And then he just didn't like me and he was mean to me. And so then uh, I think my self-esteem dropped from that, and then I had no more friends anymore. Pretty soon after that, like I had a few friends, but then I started questioning my friendship with them, and then it came into like to the point where there was like, yeah, I didn't have any friends in second grade. Yeah. Yeah, and then so that was my first 2 years of school, and then it stayed that way all the way up until my last 2 years of school.
Oh
The
my
last
gosh.
2 years of school, I learned a bunch of good stuff about friendship and how to make friends. And so that's what I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to cut all that stuff in between out because we don't want to talk about that today. Because we have less than 20 minutes. So here's the main thing. And I think you've heard this before, Sparrow. You've heard this many times, I'm sure. But keep this in your head. Try to remember it. Commit it to memory. The most important thing in dealing with people is not what you look like, but how they look like to themselves when you're around them.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're around people, how do they feel about themselves? When you're around people, how do they feel about themselves? Here's the thing, if I'm around people and they make me feel good about who I am as a person, I want to be around those people more because I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Instant friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom, just like that, easy. If I can do that for other people, if I can make other people feel good, not just feel good, like I made that person laugh or I made that person smile, like I made them feel good. No, feel good about who they are inside. That's what people are attracted to most.
Mm-hmm.
Because people want to know that they're attractive. People want to know and feel that they're attractive inside. But people generally don't feel attractive inside when they talk to most people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can be someone who makes them feel, even inside, you convince them that they're cool, they're going to want to be around you. So make people think good things about themselves and feel good about who they are. That's super, super important, right? How do you do that? Well, it's very simple. You have to get outside your comfort zone. In order to make friends, you're going to have to talk to people. In order to make friends, you're going to have to interact with people. Okay. If you can't talk, if you're mute, that's fine. That some people are. You're going to have to interact with people, however that is. If you're blind, you won't be able to see them. So it's going to be a little bit harder in some ways, but you might have it easier in others. So here's the thing. Each person is their own thing. Each person is their own person. We have things that we like, things that we don't like, blah, 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 right? When you go up to somebody and you see something you like in them, or you ever encounter anybody, start looking for things that you like about that person. That's like the first thing I want you to do. To strangers, to enemies, to friends, when you go to school, look at people and try as fast as you can, think about something you like about that individual. Maybe you've never met them before, so you're like, how could I find anything? Look at what they're wearing. It's super basic, but do they have cool shoes? Do they have nice pants? Do they have a nice physique? Do they have nice hair? Do they have a good scent to them? Do they? That one could be a little bit weird to some people, but whatever.
Man,
You
Ryan,
can always make it.
you're wrecking my self-esteem, man. I'm going down this checklist and I'm thinking of myself and I'm like, doggone it. I'm
You got
missing
all
the
those
mark on
things.
all those.
You've
Great
got all of
hair.
those, man.
Nope.
You've got amazing hair
Great
on your
smell.
arm.
Maybe a couple days ago. I don't
You
know.
you have amazing smell on your armpits.
It's amazing.
Pants. You have amazing pants on your arms. Um,
It's all about the arms.
yeah. So make it about the arms, guys. You should be able to make friends easy. Don't be afraid to make a joke that falls flat.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to show who you are. Because here's the thing. Here's the number one reason why people don't make friends. They're afraid what people will think of them. And so they don't show anybody who they are. And when you don't show anybody who you are, they can't make a friend out of you. And it's as simple as that. So show people who you are. You're going to have to be maybe a little bit more extroverted than you're used to, right? But just because you're introverted doesn't mean you can't train yourself to take the good habits of an extroverted person and start incorporating them into your life.
Mhm.
It's not a division where we're not allowed to be like each other.
Mhm.
If you're task oriented instead of people oriented, right? It doesn't mean you can't learn the habits that a people oriented person has so you can be more relatable and more enjoyed and enjoy people more. And if you're people oriented and you're not task oriented, you can pick up and learn habits and try to grow in yourself to be more like take up those good habits that you see in other people who are task oriented. That's a beautiful thing to do. So you might be afraid, and that's okay. All you have to do is attempt it. And it goes like this. You look at a stranger or your friend or an enemy or whoever it is. It doesn't even matter. Seriously, could be an enemy. It doesn't matter. You'll find out that you have a lot less enemies than you think you have if you do this. You look at them and you go, what's something good I can tell them that I see immediately or I know? Like, I will walk up to him and say, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. I just wanted to say, you have this confidence about you that is really awesome. And I kind of wish I had that confidence, but yeah, sorry. That's really all I had to say. Guess what? That person is not going to be your enemy anymore. They're not. They're going to look at you in a totally different way from that on. And next time you get a chance to interact with them, don't pass it up. Interact with them again. Find somebody who's sitting down and sit down next to them and strike up a conversation. I know it's hard. I know it's scary, but you have to get outside your bubble. You have to get outside your comfort zone to make friends, because friends are worth getting outside your comfort zone for. What happens for a friend when they're in trouble? You put yourself in danger for them. When you have a friend and they're in danger, you put yourself in danger to help them get out of danger. That's a good friend, right? That's also a good police officer, but it's a good friend, right? If you are willing to make that first move where you put yourself in a situation where you're not comfortable with, you're proving yourself to be a good friend to the person who's not even your friend yet. But that paves the way to good friendship, because now you've already put your first foot forward. You've shown you've got what it takes to build that relationship. So you're just going to have to sit down next to somebody and be like, hey, this is going to sound weird, but yeah, it's super weird, but it's not like, I don't think it, like, I'm not hitting on you, okay? I just want to tell you, you have really cool shoes. And that's all. And they'll be like, okay, thanks. And then you can be like, where'd you buy them from? And they'll be like, oh, my mom got them for me, so I don't even like Kmart. Okay, Kmart doesn't even around anymore. I'm sorry.
Kmart. I was gonna say,
um,
wow. You're gonna make
Walmart.
people
There you
see
go.
how old we are.
Yeah. Well, I got them from Walmart. And be like, oh, okay, nice. I know they sell shoes like that at Walmart. That's pretty cool. And if that's as far as the conversation goes, that's fine. But it could go farther. All you have to do is ask questions and listen. That's it. But here's the thing. Find those nuggets. When you're listening to them, pay very close attention to find something that they're passionate about. Not so that you can talk about it, but so that you can compliment them on it. Why? Because if people are passionate about something and you compliment them about that, they're going to feel good inside. Not just good, but really good about who they are. Okay? You find ways to make people feel good about who they are. Like I said, a really good example is tell someone like, wow, like when I watch you, you have this confidence about you. Or when I see you with your friends, you really lead them, and that's really cool. Or when I see you with your friends, you're like so tight with them and you follow them wherever they go. Not like a lackey, but like you guys are just really close and tight, and I just admire that. Things like that about the person that you're talking to. Compliments that compliment who they are a lot more meaningful than their looks. But if all you can do off at the beginning is their looks, that's fine. But as you're talking to someone, look for those really deep compliments that make people feel validated, smart, accepted, encouraged about who they are and the things that they do and the things that they've been trying to work at. But anyways, yeah, that's what I got. I know it took a little while to say it, but I'm gonna move it on to Joe, who I learned all of this from. Okay,
You didn't learn all this from me.
I learned some of it from. I'll be more honest.
I'm like, I was just learning. I learned some of this from you, man. Like,
yeah.
And everything I learned from either books or Ryan.
And life experiences, trial and error.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. So, but what? Okay, so here's a couple things. Like what Ryan was saying, total truth. You know, it's the most important thing. You know, if you were to make a friend, they got to feel good about themselves when they're around you. That's it. You know, and the best way to do that, like Ryan was just saying, find things you like about other people. And think about that. Keep your mind set on that. It's easy to think about all the judgments we make of people when we see them. We look around people and we make judgments. You know, we look at how somebody's wearing something, make a judgment. We look at all their tattoos, make a judgment. You know, all these things, right? And so it's interesting. You know, I used to do that too, and then I kind of started to change a little bit, and I was like, wait a second, you know what? These are actually moments for conversation. You know, like I see a guy with some tattoos all up his arms, and I might, you know, in my previous life, I might think, you know, oh my gosh, you know, this is something, I'm a little bit weirded out by this guy, right? But now I look at him and I go, hey man, nice ink. Where'd you get it? You know?
Yeah, people who have tattoos are proud of them.
Oh yeah. And he loved, man, he told me about all this other stuff. And oh man, and see this one back here. I just got this one like last week, you know, and you could tell because it was all puffy, you know? and he's like, and I'm gonna get some more color put in it and all this stuff. And he was really excited about his tattoos. You know, like another guy who had plates like in his ears, the ear gauge things, right? They're huge. And I was like, I looked at the guy and you know, again, years ago, I'd have been weirded out by that. I just like, I wouldn't have wanted to say anything because I would have, in my mind, I was making fun of him or something, right? Or I was judging him for it. But instead, I was like, man, that is a big gauge you got in your ears. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, how long did it take you to get to that size, he's like, oh, a long time, like 6 months or something, like and it was work, and he told me the whole story. I started at this little size and we just kept, growing every week or two, boom, 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 a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Yeah. I mean, people are interesting. And I'm going to tell you about a friend of mine I had in high school. I could tell you a couple books that could be secret weapons. I'll tell you the books first, and then I'll tell you the story, because the story sums up everything in what I've got to say. So 2 books that will be secret weapons for you, and you will have more friends than you know what to do with, because nobody knows this stuff anymore. Nobody knows people skills anymore. Hardly anybody. Right? So there's a book called How to Have Power and Confidence in Dealing with People by Les Giblin. I'll put them in the chat in a little bit. But there's how to have power and confidence in dealing with people, and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. These 2 books changed the way I thought about people and changed the way that I looked at how I interacted with people. And I looked at those and I was like, I've been doing these things wrong. Like, I could have read these books and did the opposite. Like, they basically wrote these books on me, the opposite. Right?
Wait, let's take everything Joe's doing, and then just write the opposite of everything. See what happens.
Yep.
That's how I felt.
Noah, you're right. I do love books. Books are great. You can learn a lot from books, and I'm a lifetime learner, man. I love learning new stuff. But at any rate, these 2 books talk about skills with people. And when you learn, it's really, really simple stuff too. It's not hard. Some of it takes a little bit of courage, but it's really, really simple stuff. It's things like smiling. Things like looking people in the eye. That's hard. That was hard for me, looking people in the eye.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. It's a good one.
Yep. But smiling and looking people in the eye when you're listening to them, and not a goofy smile, not like a, but a real smile. And so you can practice smiling in the mirror. I used to do this. I used to sit there and practice smiling. Now, if you just go and smile in the mirror, it looks something like this. Was that a real smile? No. But if you start from your guts, start with your belly, start smiling there, and then let it start to animate your whole body. Your mouth could be frowny,
and you can still look like you're smiling,
right?
I mean, yeah.
Because seriously, your your mouth is just one part of it. You won't be. You have to think about frowning, But at any rate, those 2 books could change everything, and they'd be super, super good. And I wouldn't tell anybody you're reading them, because what's going to happen is people make fun of you. They'd be like, oh, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mean, the book was written back in 1915. 1930 something. Almost 100 years ago, this book was written about people skills.
It's still being sold.
Yep. Still being sold all over the place. How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People, written in the 1950s, I think, 50s or 60s. And still, everything is still relevant, because people are people. But here's what it all boils down to in my mind. I had this friend in high school named Daryl. He was awesome. He didn't say hardly anything. He didn't, and when he did talk, he was really quiet. He seemed like he was kind of shy. Little guy, pretty skinny. But when you were around Daryl, you did not feel judged. Just because of the way he looked at you and the way he smiled, you felt comfortable. You felt like you could be around Daryl because he wasn't going to judge you. He was just happy to be around you. He was just happy to get to know you. He was happy to, he didn't get all crazy and ask you a bunch of questions about your day or everything. He wasn't really talky. He wasn't really anything like that. He just would be there and he'd be relaxed, really laid back. Always kind of like this half crooked smile on his face, like never like a big smile, just kind of like just a calm. But the way he'd look at you, you knew that he was happy to be around you and he was content being around you. And he was content with you the way you are. He didn't judge you for who you are. And in high school, man, we all feel judged. At least I did. And I think most of my classmates did. And a lot of our acting out was acting out against this judgment we felt, all that kind of stuff. But Daryl, he didn't let himself get involved with any of that stuff. We'd go to lunch, we'd sit there at lunch. He'd go get his thing. He'd get whatever he wanted to get, whatever. You get what you wanted to get. He'd look at you and smile with his little half smile, crooked smile. You'd say something and his laugh was something like,
Nice.
If he said something, it was always really quiet. But he was he's like an old shoe. Really, really comfortable. It's awesome. So we could all take a lesson from Daryl. And just remember, hey, you know what? Just don't judge. Just don't judge people. Just understand they're people. And just understand that to be around another person, that's a gift. Whether they're acting all crazy or not, they can act however they want. If somebody's acting crazy and mean, it's because something's going on in their life that isn't good. And so if somebody's being mean to me, that's immediately where I try to make my mind go first. Is like, okay, this person's being mean to me. Something in their life is painful for them. I should pray for that to get fixed for them. I should pray for them to have peace. I may be the wrong person to help them achieve that peace, but I really hope that they find it. And you know what? Under normal circumstances, most people are wonderful to be around. We just all get hijacked when we're under stress or we got something going on. But we could all be a Daryl and just be like, hey, it's all good. Whatever. Yeah, you want to come over? Cool. You want to not come over? Cool. You want to sit there? Yeah, cool. You want to not sit there? Hey, cool. It's just, hey. That's awesome. So anyway, and I think that goes right along with what Ryan was saying. If you can feel comfortable around another person, you're going to like that person. And so if you can make it a point that people can feel comfortable around you and not feel judged and feel good about themselves, you will have no trouble making friends, and you'll have no trouble having real, meaningful relationships, as well as a bunch of people who are kind of, we kind of have circles of friends. We have our inner circle of friends, but you're also going to have a huge outer circle of friends that they might not be all that close to you, but if they see you, they're going to be happy they saw you. And if you need help and they see you need help, they're going to probably come and try and help you. Because that's how that works. So if you can be that kind of a person, you'll be really great at making friends. So anyway, that's what I got. Ryan, back to you.
I don't have anything more. I think that was perfect. I 100% agree.
All right. Cool.
Cool.
Well, then
You're
that's
cool.
the topic. You're cool.
Okay.
Man, Sparrow, you're cool.
Yeah. Sparrow's even cooler
Mm-hmm. You
than
bet.
me.
You bet. Yep. And then you can join a Minecraft world and you can be friends with people and they'll go and mine a whole bunch of cobblestone for you.
Because you're comfortable to be around.
I did that for Sparrow. We hung out playing Minecraft one day and, he was like, hey, man, you got any cobblestone? I'm like, I'm about to have a ton of it.
Yeah. It's a good way to do it too. Instead of saying like, no, you want me to go get you some? People be like, nah. What if you're like, yeah, I'm about to. How much do you need? And then you just go do it. That's a good way to. It's a good way to do it.
Well, I was
like
hollowing out this area underground, man. I knew I was gonna have
okay.
I was gonna have a ton of cobblestone, So yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So anyway, man, you did use about all of it. You didn't use one of it. You named one piece of it and you gave it back to me. He named it like something special, Sparrow's cobblestone or something.
Nice.
I still have it somewhere. I think. I don't know. After the griefer came through and destroyed it, it might have gotten destroyed in the griefer problem.
Yeah.
But whatever. And anyway, hey, the Minecraft server is back up for those of you who are in there. If you're not, you can go to Static P Friends and you can find the Minecraft tags. You can submit your tag to Jesse and you'll get put on the whitelist to be on the Black Static and Swerve server, the Black Static and Swerver.
I like that. Like just Black Static and Swerver.
Yep. So we had a good time. But anyway, yeah, that's about gonna do it for Don't Worry Wednesday tonight.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us all.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Anonymous, Baka, Sparrow, thank you guys for the topics. Thank you guys for the topics that we didn't get to tonight. I apologize for not getting to them, but come back next Wednesday and we'll be sure to do our best to get to you. We have quite a list right now. So yeah, we would love to. Solo says, is it compatible with Java? No, we don't have a Java server yet. But
I think there's something on the way.
Coming. Yes. Jesse even put in the Minecraft Discord. He said something about very, very soon. And I know that it's half set up already because I saw it.
Almarag, were you here the whole time?
Yeah. We said your name a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, you little. I love you, man. You're so awesome.
You just didn't play. Oh, you trickster. All right. I wish there was something like on Twitch you can see who's there.
Yeah.
We don't get that
a
on
YouTube
YouTube.
function where you can.
Next time, I'll just do the @ symbol and
Oh,
start
yeah,
typing
and if
his
it
name.
pops
And
up-
if it pops up, it means they're in there.
Yes.
Doesn't mean they're at their
Yes.
computer listening, but it means they're there enough to be on the page.
Actually, I don't know if that's true. I don't know. It used to be the case where they had to have written a comment within the last, I think it was like 20 or 30 minutes for it to pop up. Otherwise, they could remain in there and it wouldn't at them unless they spoke.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's that way anymore. Who knows?
Well,
But you could
let's
try it.
find out.
Hey, and I do have to tell you guys, if you guys are into watching live streams, I hung out on Sunday like for hours with Tef. You see him go live, I think he goes live like 4 days a week or something like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun.
Tef is great.
He's awesome. He played this one RPG, I forget what it was called, But yeah, he was just playing, and I was in there chatting with him. We were having a good time and stuff. And some days he's cooking food, he's
Yeah,
making
that's so
pizzas
cool.
or cheesecakes or whatever. Man, he's great to hang out with. So yeah, be sure to check out Tef if you get a chance. And we got some other great streamers in there too. Senna, she's fun to hang out with. But yeah, just pay attention to the
Straw
live
art and
stream
stuff. Very cool.
in the Discord. Yeah, there's a bunch of great stuff. So you
Yep.
guys are awesome. Come back next Wednesday. We will see you again right here
That's right.
on the YouTube for Don't Worry Wednesday. Till then, have a great week, guys.
Bye, guys. Peace.
See ya.